Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we're going to talk about a leader that's near and dear to my heart, the Cheelai and Lemo Leader. If you guys don't know my history with this leader, and you'll allow me to brag, over 2 years ago, my goodness, there was a big PPG event. I think it was like April 2019, and I think it was 2019. And I brought this leader. I think only one other person of the 200 plus people brought this leader. I ended up getting top 4 with it. And it was really cool. I had a really nice list with it, and it honestly was I think it was my first breakout performance with not only placing high in a tournament, with doing it with such a weird leader that no one else was really using. And I thought that was really cool, and I just really do appreciate this leader, and it just means a whole lot to me. So, and if you guys didn't know, Bandai announced the 2021 Volume 2 Championship promos, which has this cool guy over here, the Super Saiyan Broly Evolution's Harbinger. Energy Exhaust Auto. When this card is played, add up to 2 cards with Dragon Balls from your deck or drop area. That drop area part is amazing. To your hand, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. And also active main for 1 red, 1 green. If you have 3 or more energy, choose up to 1 red Broly BR card with a cost of 5 and evolve in your hand, and evolve on top of this card in active mode. So a lot to unpack here. This card has like a bunch of synergy with a lot of cards that already exist, and I wanted to go over it real quick. So first, we'll talk about the auto first, but the active main, I think the idea for it is you go into into this one. This is a red green Broly with evolve in it, and it says, it has a permanent. If you play this card with evolve, it can't be KO'd by your opponent, which is what you do, and it also has alliance. So essentially, the only way you can get rid of this guy is if you give it minus 20k, which is a little bit easier now than when this card first existed, but it's okay protection there. And then if you do get alliance with it, it gets triple strike, which can be a really good game ender with it, especially since when you do evolve on top of it, it goes into active mode. So that's really cool. Also, another card which you guys got spoiled with a second ago is this guy. All right, real quick. This is the current ruling for it. If this changes, I will do my best. I will Scout's honor do my best to come back and pin a comment on this video. I will try my best to remember this. So check out there. If in doubt, ask your local judges, just our Facebook group or whatever, if this still works. But current ruling is that this has this permanent that says this card can't be played from any area with non-evolve skills, and so this is not an evolve skill because it's an active main. However, there is something in the rules manuals. There's 10-5.6. When a card starts to evolve, it means to play the card as if you were to play it within an evolve, EX evolve, Xeno evolve skill. I put the skill part, but that's what the brackets mean. So currently, the consensus with the judge groups that I've talked to is that you can play it off that guy. That could easily change. Bandit could just say no, you can't, and that's it. But currently you can. So this card could be really good in the deck as well. It has deflect and barrier, and it's a 30k, so it's just a monster of a card. And then also auto once per turn. If this card's in rest mode, when your opponent attacks a leader card, they reveal their hand, choose it to 1 card from it, and send it to their warp. At the end of the turn, return the card sent to the warp by the skill to the owner's hand. So this could just be like a really cool card to go into. It's also just a cheap 5k, and it just swings every turn. It's a 30k swing every turn. It has deflect and barrier, so your opponent can interact with it. And once again, this does evolve into active mode, so there's some cheese there. So I'll let you guys decide if you want to do that. But my list that I have is none of these guys. It's really focusing on the auto of adding 2 Dragon Ball cards from your deck or drop here to your hand. So if you don't know the significance of it, also I should have said this earlier. The 4-drop is not in Shenron's Lair right now, so this is the proxy for it. If you're just wondering why I'm running Broly Rapid Barrage, that's why. No doubt there's already comments right now that says, why are you running Broly Rapid Barrage without Dormant Legend? That's why, all right? I'll say it in the video, but I'll probably reply to people in the comments already. Anyways, so the fact that this Allied Reinforcements card exists is what really brings Cheelai and Lemo, I think, to a really good spot. So it's a Desire, which is good, and then also active main if your leader card is a Cheelai and Lemo card, and you choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. Choose 1. If you have no cards in your battle area, play up to 1 green Broly BR with any cost of 4 from your deck, and up to 1 green Cheelai or Lemo BR from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So the card that before this Broly came out is this Cheelai and Lemo, the Bandits. So if your leader card is a green Shenron card, when this card's played, choose one, place up to two cards with Dragon Balls goes from your deck in your drop area, shuffle your deck, then draw one. And then R, add up to one green Desire card from your drop area to your hand, which just means that you can add the card you just dropped to your hand too. Like, you can just get this back, and that's fine. But this gets 2 Dragon Balls out of your hand, and so you play this one and you get one of the other Brolys. But now that we got this other 4-drop Broly that we can look at, it adds up to 2 cards with Dragon Balls from your deck or drop areas. So this means that this Desire, all by itself, can add 4 Dragon Balls to your hand and or drop area. So Cheelai and Lemo drop 2, and then the Broly adds them to your hand, which means that if you have these regular Dragon Balls, that's just, you get to draw 2. It becomes like a pot of, like, this just gets so much advantage now as long as your board is empty, which should be super easy if you don't do anything turn 1. So that's like the whole bread and butter for this, which means as long as you find 1 Dragon Ball without having to search for it, you're able to awaken very consistently on turn 2, because Cheelai and Lemo, they find a Dragon Ball every turn. So turn 1, you find 1. Normally you find 1 Star Ball, and you're able to use 1 Star Ball with your 1 energy to draw 1 and then drop 1 card from your hand. Normally you want to drop a Broly card, just because this adds a Broly. It doesn't add a Desire or anything when it Wish awakens. It just adds a Broly BR card to your hand, so you can just get that back. And then turn 2, you just use Allied Reinforcements to get the other 4 Dragon Balls. You can use your leader effect to get another Dragon Ball, and then you just self-awaken and then flip over, and you've drawn like 100. You awaken with, if your opponent doesn't swing into you very much, a 15k leader, you get like 12 cards in hand, no joke, and then you can use your active main on your awakened side to draw an extra card as well. It just gets a lot of value. So that's like the game one, or the game plan for turn 1, turn 2. And so I feel like the hand advantage could really help out for being like a really aggressive like hand control deck. This looks like a lot like the Cell Surge Frieza Xeno deck that I've been playing for the last couple of months as well. But I think this really works with the leader. I think Dark Broly is such a good unison that if you have a card, like if you have more cards than your opponent, you just discard 1 card to make your opponent lose 2 cards. Like, that's just good value, right? And then obviously the auto with Demon God Deborah is also very, very handy as well. This just is another +1, and you can just help. You can just be really aggressive with what you're doing with your opponent, and you can really get a lot of value with it as well. So I like all these cards. I think that just fits really well together and makes a really coherent deck. You pop something, then you can play Surprise Attack Frieza. It gets a 15k crit. Then you can use 1 Star Ball to go into Frieza Dark Infestation, do a double strike, and then you can pop it to make your opponent discard a card. You get 1 Star Ball back, or like Dorm Potential back if you need it as well. It has a lot of value there. If you're able to stall out with Dormant, you can get to turn 4, which getting to turn 4 with this deck isn't too terrible. You can use Kind Wish. And the other thing about this, both Allied Reinforcements and Kind Wish, are that if you have empty boards, you get to play a Broly card for free, which means you can play this guy for free, which means that you get to draw 2 additional cards for absolutely free, or you can get a 1-star ball back to your hand and just a regular Dragon Ball as well. It just oozes value. Like this, just playing this card for free from your deck lets you draw 2 cards and you have a 20k out. And it's just a lot of value. Like, it's just, I can't stress enough how much value this card gets. It's really insane at times. So I think that really helps the deck out at doing what you want to do, and it makes like Dormant really good. So that's kind of like the main idea for the deck. Some cards to get you there. I'm also running this Trunks of Hoping Blast. I think the hardest turn for this deck is turn 2, because even though you can usually consistently awaken with this deck, you have to make sure that your opponent doesn't have any, like, you have to tap out. You have to tap out for this. And Cheelai and Lemo don't untap energy when they awaken because they're a Wish leader. So you don't really have a lot to do with that, right? You could also run, if you don't like to run Trunks, you can also run like Shocking Death Ball, or the new negate that puts a blocker token as well. I think that's fine. But I really do like Trunks a Helping Blast just because it's blocker and revenge. And you can play this card for free as long as you have a red-green out, which, guess what? There he is. This guy's red-green. So, like, it just makes a lot of sense to just do all of that. It just flows really well, in my opinion, and can really help you out getting you where you need to go. So, that's the idea there. You just play Trunks Helping Blast, and you just go from there. So, turn 3, you want to play Dark Broly, and then you've drawn so many cards from your deck, you'll probably have Dorm Potential unleashed as well. And then you just have like the 20k Broly just hitting at your opponent's life, or at their unisons or anything else, and if they get rid of it, that just means that you can play another desire for free, and then you get another one out, and you get to draw another 2 cards on top of it. So like it really makes it so your opponent doesn't want to get rid of your battle cards, because you'll get a lot of like advantage swing if they spend time and energy to get rid of those guys as well. The last cards I want to talk about for this deck, we also have Defending Father Paragus and 2 of the Great Saiyaman. Paragus is probably still the best one, but I do like Saiyaman just because we draw so much, and a lot of these cards have to be specifically played from your deck. Great Saiyaman can be really useful for putting the cards back to the bottom of your deck so you can play it. Like, there have been times where I've drawn like a lot of my Brolys, and I'm like, they're useless anyways, but I want them at my deck so I can play them with Allied Reinforcement or A Kind Wish. So being able to put them back there can be handy and worth the not having a 10k and the flexibility of this being a Frieza's army as well. Son Goku Power of Legend is a very good card. The one thing you have to be careful about, you'll be really tempted to play it turn 1 with 1-star ball, but you don't want to, because then you'll have a card on your board and then you can't Allied Reinforcements. So that's a bad. Unless like you can expect your opponent to play a 1-drop that you can warp away, you don't want to play this card early. But later in the game, it can be very good at just being, once again, more crit pressure, and then also being able to warp some of your opponent's cards off their battlefield. And lastly, just for some like finishing power, I have Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku Man on a Mission. Just a double strike crit, which is really nice. If you guys have the money for the big boy Bardock, which we'll go over here. I always spell Oberon wrong. There we go. Popularity descending. Let's go. Yeah, this boy, Super Saiyan Bardock, fighting against Fate. He is very good. He's better. He's just dual attack, 25k. If you're playing against a deck that's like hand control-y, chances are your opponent's not going to have 2 negates, and you just need to do the 1 damage anyway. So this can be really helpful for doing that. I also wanted to mention that I should have put this in here earlier. Rosie's a good card as well, and it's on color and everything else. If you get to turn 4 and your opponent's board is empty, just being able to like if your board's empty, you can do a Kind Wish to get everything away, and then just being able to drop a Rosie to make them drop 2 cards, and this has triple attack on top of it. This can just be really good at ending the game as well. So if you have this card too, I'd probably try to put 1 or 2 in to kind of help you out. Our list right now is 55 cards, which isn't terrible for what we have, especially since we technically have 48 cards, because 7 of them are Dragon Balls, so they cycle very easily and replace themselves with without having to pay any energy. So you can add some more cards with you if you want. You can take less cards out if you want to be super duper consistent, but you kind of have to have like this middle road where you don't want a lot of your Dragon Balls in your life, and you want to make sure that you don't, even if you draw a lot, you can still have the components that need to stay in your deck as well. So I think that having somewhere between 55 and 60 cards is probably preferable for this deck. 55 I think is probably pretty close to where you want to be, just on consistency for everything else. I'd say the only thing that this deck really needs to have is you need to find Allied Reinforcements turn 2. This is the most important card in your entire deck. You need to play it turn 2. If you don't play it turn 2, if you don't find it, then you usually can't awaken as early. You kind of have to stumble through your plays. You're a turn behind, and you just usually lose from your opponent being more aggressive than you. So that's the one thing I'd say that you'd have to watch out for. Make sure you get this. Like, if you don't have this in your opening hand, just put your entire hand back. It's not worth it. You need to find this guy. You'll have 2 turns to try to find it as well, and you'll have 2 additional draws from Dragon Balls as well. But it's super important to get this turn 2. And that's really all I have to talk about this list. It's super fun. I really recommend it for you guys. I think it's a good kind of aggressive hand control deck, and it's something a little bit different, as well as a wish list. If you guys haven't played a wish leader ever, I think this is a fun one to try to play as well. And I think that's about it for me. So let me know what you guys think about this list, about the new Broly cards, and I'll catch you all next time.